Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Everyone is saying buy silver, but prices have exploded. Did you miss the boat? Is it too late? Let's find out. So, the silver markets have been an emotional and literal roller coaster. Prices as low as $11 in March, within a couple months reaching $30. So did you miss the boat? Is it too late? Did you miss your golden opportunity? The answer is no. If you understand silver's true value, its true potential, there's a long way to go. $30 for an ounce of silver is extremely undervalued. That's also why you should still buy it. It's the perfect time. The gold to silver ratio is still extremely high, meaning silver is underpriced, gold is overpriced. Gold already is around record all-time highs. Silver isn't even half of its all-time high. A lot of room to catch up. Now, not only is the gold to silver ratio a perfect tool to see which is the better investment between gold and silver, but also tells us where silver is headed. Gold is silver's big brother. So gold has already exploded. Silver follows suit a couple weeks or a couple months after, but to more extreme degrees. Silver is more volatile because it's a smaller market. Prices are influenced much more when money comes into it. And talk about money coming into it. Look how many new investors are diving straight into the world of precious metals, more specifically silver. Apps like Robinhood make it extremely convenient for people to invest. Millennials, younger generations, now see opportunity that lies ahead. I think it all started from the Bitcoin boom. People saw how much money you could make from investing. A lot of people missed the boat on Bitcoin, so now this is their chance. They see another golden opportunity, pun intended. So, yes, silver is higher. Yes, you could have got it for cheaper a couple months ago, but it doesn't mean it's too late. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy it right now. So, there's universal tools and skills that every investor should use. Even when it comes to, let's say, real estate. If you're a realtor and you're looking to buy rental property, you got to be looking about the current state of that neighborhood, of that town, that city, but also where it's headed. Currently, you analyze the price to see if you're getting a good price, and then you look at where it's headed. Are they building schools, taking schools down? Are they building shopping centers, tearing them down? Because that will raise or destroy the property value, right? If they're building malls and it looks like it's going to be a nicer neighborhood in 10, 20 years, your property value will rise. Same exact idea applies to gold and silver. Silver prices are extremely cheap right now, right? There's a silver shortage on our hand, huge silver shortage, a massive silver shortage. And I don't say this to be exaggerated at all. For the last 7 years, the silver production globally has been getting cut back by the hundreds of millions of ounces due to not only this pandemic, because it was happening several years before the pandemic, but silver just isn't profitable for miners. They would rather dig up gold, lead, or zinc. So silver is a byproduct. They find it by accident. They find it when they're digging up other metals. So there's a huge silver shortage. The pandemic only made it harder to not only dig it up with limited workers, but also transporting the silver, across the globe. So if we know that the supply is falling, then what about the demand? Well, here's where silver has even more potential. Increasingly high demand, rapidly rising demand from 5G towers that need silver, from electric vehicles that need silver, from solar panels that need silver, from other companies that need silver, since silver is intertwined into everything since it's the most highly conductive metal, thermally and electronically. It's going to get to a point where not enough silver can go around. It's scarce, but everyone wants it. Everyone wants a slice of the silver pie, but not everyone will be able to get it. This is where prices will explode. It's already starting to happen. We saw earlier this year, U.S. Mint ran out of silver eagles, right? Had to cut back production. The Royal Canadian Mint shut down for 2 weeks, right? This is an ongoing problem. And let me take it a step even further. Not only will big business corporations need silver for 5G towers and everything, but look at the price. Look how many new stackers there are. Individual people like you and I, individual investors, are also pouring more money into silver. So we have a huge trifecta happening of big business need it for electric vehicles, solar panels, 5G towers. So they're all dumping money in to buy silver. But also, people see the price go up and they want it too. People like you and I, so there's more money coming in from the individual investors as well. All of that money, all of that demand is only going to squeeze silver out, the supply out, but there is none. There's not enough silver to go around for everyone, making it extremely scarce, extremely rare, and extremely valuable. I made a video the other day talking about the real value of silver, and I said it's unknown, right? The true value of silver is unknown. It could be any price. We don't know because every time silver has been priced, has been gauged on that specific time in history. What's happening in the economy, stock market volatility, the dollar index, so many different things influence and affect the price of silver. But what happens when it doesn't matter about stock market volatility? What happens when there is no dollar index because our money has crashed, which is going to happen sooner than later? What happens when we solely need gold and silver for survival, for its intrinsic value, not just for a commodity, a nice, necklaces and jewelry, when it comes down to wants versus needs? See, this is where it gets interesting because that's unknown. We see glimpses in 2011, 1980, when silver hits $50. And this is in times of economic turmoil, recession/depression, billion/trillion-dollar stimulus packages. Things look bad. Well, guess what? Regardless if it has to be apocalyptic or SHTF or whatever the case, that is going to happen sooner than later. And it's not just going to be a little, a couple month spur. It's going to permanently end. Our fiat-based system, our monetary system is crashing. Whether you want to accept it, acknowledge it, ignore it, whatever, it's going to happen. I made a video on my second channel, link in the description, titled America is Poor. And I really dove deep into showing the reality. This pandemic only exposed to everyone else. We already knew, right? We knew this was happening behind the scenes. But now everyone's getting on board, realizing how truly broke we are, $27 trillion in debt. But the worst part is, the scariest part about all this, is the US dollar is the world's reserve currency, right? It's the standard currency on a global scale. Now that people see how much trouble we're in, countries are starting to opt out of the USD being the reserve currency, which could be extremely bad news. Because think about it. The dollar's not backed by gold and silver anymore. I actually made a video yesterday talking about how people saying that it would be backed by gold and silver again. Check out that video as well. But anyways, this is major. Dollar isn't backed by gold and silver. It's backed by nothing but faith. So if people start to lose faith in the dollar, then what's going to happen? It's going to fall apart. The dollar is only as strong as people, quote unquote, think it is. And as people start to see this, they lose faith in it and everything crumbles down. Gold and silver, on the other hand, has value within itself, not from a perspective or a speculative, input, right? No matter who says that 1 ounce silver coin is worth what, it's irrelevant. The real value of that coin isn't how much someone says it is, it's the 1 ounce of silver inside of it. That's the real value. That's the real money. Money is something that cannot be created nor destroyed, right? That's gold and silver for you. More specifically, silver. People wonder why silver, not gold. I made a lot of videos about it, but to wrap it up quickly, silver does just as many things, if not more, than gold does, and it's way cheaper, more undervalued than gold. There's more potential, it's more volatile, it's cheaper, more affordable, and looking at the gold to silver ratio, it's also underpriced compared to gold. Gold already exploded, silver hasn't yet. Silver's time is coming, and that's that. To wrap it up in a few sentences. So, like the question of this video is, did you miss the boat? Is it too late to buy? Is it your last chance to buy silver? No. Everyone, when they first get into precious metals, I especially did this even, 8-9 years ago. I thought that the prices were going to explode overnight, so I had to buy as much silver for as cheap as possible, right? I thought next month it's going to shoot up, so I got to buy it all right now. Hurry up while the price is still low. I'm here to tell you this. That's completely false. That's all, what's the word? That's all speculation, fear, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt spread from YouTube. The silver pumpers making it seem like the end of the world's coming. You got to buy silver right now, or you're right. That's not true. Silver markets are a much slower moving market than most investments. Precious metals are. They're more of a preservation of wealth, right? You're preserving your money as the dollar deflates. It's like you're putting your money in a time capsule as the dollar loses value. And this happens slowly. If you're in this for a quick buck, if you're investing in gold and silver precious metals just to make a quick buck, you're in it for the wrong reason, and you probably won't make any money. You probably won't even break even, to be honest. It's more of a longer term preservation. It's more like I'm not planning on selling my gold or silver for another 10, 15, 20 years, right? I'm not trying to sell it in a couple years just to get in and get out real quick. That's more for Bitcoin stock markets. So when I'm looking at its real value, I'm looking way down the line. Right now it's $30, but imagine in 20, 30 years what it could be, especially knowing how bad things are already getting. Right? Think about that. Silver was $50 and not even 10 years ago. Imagine what it's going to be in 20, 30 years from now. Especially since things are only getting worse even faster than ever. Right? It's getting worse and worse, and the dollar's crashing faster and faster. The system's getting exposed. People are losing faith. It's only going to end extremely bad. And the worst part is most people don't even know this is happening. The worst part is most people, even if they do know, they don't want to admit it. It's almost like an out of sight, out of mind. Those are the ones that's going to get burnt the worst and feel the regret. Imagine knowing that the system's failing, knowing that there's an option, an alternative, which is gold and silver, but still not doing it. Imagine how bad that would feel. It's like Bitcoin. All the people that told me not to buy Bitcoin, and then after the price exploded, they probably felt extremely silly and mad because they missed a lot of opportunity, right? You got to get in before the curve. You don't want to invest while everyone else is. You got to get in before the curve, right? Silver stackers know this stuff. Most people don't. Silver stacking has taught me so much about the economy, about the true value of the dollar, separating my wants versus needs. Just because I can buy something doesn't mean I can afford to buy it, right? It's taught me patience, balance, budgeting, so many things. And I can apply these to my actual life. Investing doesn't have to be complicated. It should be somewhat fun, a hobby, but it still is about money at the end of the day, right? I try to make my videos educational, teachable, comprehensible, understandable, right? Easily understandable, because I don't want this to be hard. I'm not trying to tell you how to stack. I'm trying to teach you my methods of stacking so you can take or leave what you need and apply it to your own stack. It's like teach a man how to fish, or catch a fish for a man will eat for a day. Teach a man how to fish, he'll eat for the rest of his life. That type of thing. there's there's too many different ways to stack silver for me to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. There's too many different ways. I don't know your income. I don't know how many years until you plan on selling. I don't know how much silver you already have or don't have, right? It's so adjustable and individual, and that's a beautiful thing about it. So hopefully you take the tips, the tools, the experience that I've went through, and intertwine it into your own stack. That's what I did, watching Silver Slacker, Salivate Metal, Junius Maltby, Hi Ho Silver, Backyard Bullion, so many different channels that have affected me, and I learned from them, right? I learned and I took them and I grew from them. So I hope this video showcased the true value of silver, why you didn't miss the boat, while silver being $30 is still pennies to the dollar cheap. That's dirt cheap still. Maybe not for the immediate term, but in 30 years, you'll go back and wish you could have bought silver for $30 in 2020. Imagine being in a time capsule and looking back on today's time, knowing what already happened later on. You would be like, man, it was so blatantly obvious. Why didn't I buy way more silver? You don't want to be that person looking back on today's times regretting, wishing you could go back in today's times and buy more because you were skeptical when you know the answers. I just explained so many reasons in this video why silver is going to explode. Take it or leave it. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.